Internet is down.
No.
There Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Hara Madhava Punjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivarada Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivarada Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari 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 Gopi Chandra Vallabha Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Ira Ira Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Vishnupada Paramahams Prabhu Jaya Ashutosh Shri Srimad His Divine Grace the A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Guru Vaishnava Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Hare Jai All glory is to the Lord. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Shri Shri Guru Shri Guru Shri Guru Shri Guru. Oh, yeah. When Kesava Swami was in Vrindavan, he was from devotees, and they were going around over downhill. And there's some devotees, they pay obeisances around the hill. They pay obeisance and they go around the whole hill, paying obeisance. Pay obeisance, they put a rock. There's one devotee had 108 rocks. He stays in one spot 108 times. He pays, then he moves the rock 108 times. Takes a long time. Mm-hmm. So he was actually an ISKCON devotee. In case Swami asked him, "Well, this great austerity, why?" He said, "Well, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that if you always think of me, become a devotee, and you offer obeisances, you'll come to me." He said, "Well, always thinking of Krishna, that's hard. Becoming a devotee of Krishna, that's hard. I can pay obeisances. I can do that." So he just wants to pay obeisances. Interesting. Now, what is it? Raghunath Das Goswami, he had paid obeisances to the deities. I forgot which one. 2,000 times to the devotees and 1,000 to the deities, something like that. Mm. But that takes, paying obeisances takes long. So Gavita Prabhu, he said probably more like pranam, because to pay obeisances 2,000 times a day, that takes a long. To the devotees and then 1,000 to the deities, that's 3,000. That takes a long time. So to do that, so he probably, that's also obeisance.
We don't need a workout plan then if we think that many obeisances.
Huh?
That's the best workout.
Yeah. Transcendental push-ups. So which verse are we at? 44. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Namo Vanchaka Pakirishta Kripasinduye Vichaparitam Bhavali. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Saraswati Gaura. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama. So we all have the verse. Yanmayase Dhruvam Lokam.
Yanmanyase Dhruvam Lokam.
Adhruvam Vanachopayam.
Adhruvam Vanachopayam.
Sarvatha nahi sochaste.
Sarvatha nahi sochaste.
Sneha Snehadanyatra Mohaja
Snehadanyatra mohajat
Yanmanyase Dhruvam Lokam
Yanmanyase dhruvam lokam
Adruvam Vanachobhayam
Adruvam vanachobhayam
Sarvatana Hisochaste
Sarvatana hishochaste
Snehadanyatra Mohaja
Snehadanyatra mohajat
Yanmanyase Dhruvam Lokam
Yanmanyase dhruvam lokam Adruvam vanachobhayam
Sarvatana Hisochaste
Sarvatana hishochaste Snehadanyatra mohajat Yanmanyase dhruvam lokam Yanmanyase dhruvam lokam Adruvam vanachobhayam Adruvam vanachobhayam Sarvatana hishochaste Sarvatana hishochaste Snehadanyatra mohajat Snehadanyatra mohajat
Yet,
Yet,
even though Manyase, you think, Dhruvam, absolute truth, Lokam, persons, Adruvam, non-reality. So that would mean Dhruvam means reality. Dva, either, na, or not. Cha, also. Abhayam, or both wise. Sarvata, in all circumstances. Na, never. He, certainly. Socha, subject for lamentation. Te, sneha, due to affection. Anyatra, or otherwise. Mohaja, due to bewilderment. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
O King, in all circumstances, whether you consider the soul to be an eternal principle, or the material body to be perishable, or everything to exist in the impersonal absolute truth, or everything to be an inexplicable combination of matter and spirit, feelings of separation are due only to illusory affection and nothing more. The actual fact is that every living being is an eternal part and parcel of the Supreme Being. And his constitutional position is subordinate, cooperative service. Like Prabhupada, he told the devotees just before he passed away, he called for Giriraj Swami. And it was late at night, maybe 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Devotee called him, Prabhupada wants to speak. And Prabhupada is very ill, he's ready to leave his life. And Prabhupada said, so will this movement continue? Prabhupada was concerned. He used to travel all over the world just to keep things together. So he asked Giriraj Swami, will this movement continue? Yes, Prabhupada, yes. Prabhupada said 2 words: intelligence and organization. Be organized, intelligent. And he also said that your love will be shown by how you cooperate. Those words there. Subordinate cooperative service. You have to cooperate with one another. It's so important. In Kali Yuga, it's so difficult because the age of quarrel and hypocrisy is very difficult. And many devotees had difficulty cooperating with one another. As one person said, it would be amazing to see how much could be done if nobody is concerned about their own name and fame. Everybody's just a family. It's like I just recently heard that in competition, there's a danger when there's competition. Because when you have competition, then you have comparison. When comparison gets degraded, then it becomes criticism. So it's very nice what Vijaya Prabhu here has on book distribution, no names. No names. It's just one family working together to be number one. A little competition still, right? Number one in America, and I wants to beat Mayapur. Mayapur's number one. The competition is there, even in the spiritual world. The coward boys, they're running. I'm going to touch Krishna first. I'm going to touch Krishna first. There's little competitions, but in the material world, it gets out of hand sometimes. There was two devotees on book distribution. They were competing, and one devotee was distributing books to a karmi. The karmi is facing this way. The devotee is facing this way. So the devotee that's competing with the devotee, he comes behind the devotee and he tells them,
Krishna.
Mhm.
and he didn't take the book. That's how crazy competition can be. The person maybe hadn't come in contact with Krishna for millions of lifetimes. Finally, he's getting the chance, and this devotee, because it's so much into competition. Yeah, that's how crazy competition can be. And there's another instance, which was just another unbelievable instance of a devotee. There were two devotees distributing, and you know how when we distribute, sometimes the person only has a card. So what the devotees will do is, hey Prabhu, do we have cards? Yeah, sure, we take cards. Just to make it, yeah, it's good. So this devotee was talking to a person about getting the book, and he said, I only have a card. So the devotee said, Prabhu, do we take cards? No, we don't take cards. Because he was so much into the competition. So the person walked away. And then he said to the devotee, he said, I hate you. I hate you. This is Sankirtan. Because he was so much into the competition. Instead of it being Krishna and the conditioned souls, that giving Krishna, it's all about me. It's about me. I'm not doing good. You're doing good. I hate you. It's like amazing. I heard that recently. So that's how it can be. You can get contaminated. You have to be very. So it's good. You don't have to deal with that. There's no one knows who's doing what. So it's good. You don't have to worry about it. It's all just for Krishna, for Prabhu. Either in his conditional material existence or in his liberated position of full knowledge and eternity, the living entity is eternally under the control of the Supreme Lord. So we're also controllers. We can control a little bit, just like we have our rooms, so we can move things here and there. But Krishna is Parameshwar. He's the Supreme. We're little teeny-weeny Ishwaras. But Krishna is the Parameshwar. So we're trying to take shelter of Krishna and serve Krishna. Trying to think it's all about Krishna. It's all about serving Krishna, pleasing Krishna, the Parameshwar. And when we surrender to Krishna, then we can be controlled by Krishna. Just like Krishna he told Arjuna, Nimitta matram bhavisabhisat. Just be an instrument in my hands. Just be controlled by me. If we can just be controlled by Krishna, how auspicious that would be. We have to be connected. We have to know what Krishna wants. We have to know what Krishna wants. It's like one of the natures of the demon is they don't know what to do, they don't know what not to do. One of these symptoms. It's like you guys have that funny thing, ABCD, American-born confused daisies, right? But actually, this whole country is made up of ABCDs. Not that they're born daisies, but they're born demons. American-born confused demons. Because we're born in families, they don't know, and my father and mother, they didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to raise us. And we were doing all kinds of sinful activities. So ABCD, this is the whole country. It's like American-born confused demons. But fortunately, Prabhupada came. And he gave us some direction. So now, some of us, we know what to do, we know what not to do. And also in that 16th chapter, Krishna explains some of the demoniac natures. They're, what is it? Arrogant, proud, so many different. So this is America. Born of the brave, home of the free, born of the brave. Proud, very proud. And they're proud of being proud. But we're small. We're very small. Therefore, Krishna, when we realize, when we come to the reality, understand that we're very small. And Krishna's great. And we have this humility. Krishna's so, it's like Lord Chaitanya when Rupa Goswami, it's not a Goswami, but there with Lord Chaitanya. Straw between their teeth and just so much humility coming in. Lord Chaitanya, you're breaking, you said you're breaking my heart with the humility, because they're very qualified. See, if someone is very qualified, but still humble, that's Krishna's mercy. Because generally, someone is very qualified, it's hard to be humble. It's hard to be humble when you're great. So to be humble, even though one is qualified, just like Vaiseshika, he's wonderful example, so qualified, such an amazing devotee, but so humble at the same time. Prabhupada also. This is and Prabhupada says in the purport that the greatest humility will be found in the pure devotee. The greatest humility will be found in the pure devotee, because he realizes more than anybody else how small I am and how great Krishna is. Therefore, he's so humble. There's no false ego. No false ego. Just pure ego, which is our true identity of servant. But those who are not conversant with factual knowledge put forward many speculative propositions about the real position of the living entity. It is admitted, however, by all schools of philosophy that the living entity is eternal and that the covering body of the five material elements is perishable and temporary. So this is the problem with a lot of the people that are translating Bhagavad Gita. They don't have true knowledge. They're translating, but they don't have knowledge of the absolute, so they're speculating. Just like in one, I think I might have mentioned this, there's one commentary of the Bhagavad Gita. He got to the Sarvanamam Pariteja, Mamikam Kshanamvacha. In his commentary, he says Krishna is asking for too much. This is his commentary. This is his commentary. Krishna is asking for too much. But the person, the fool, he doesn't know that if you surrender to Krishna, then you get everything. You get Krishna. You go to the spiritual world. You get so much. But because he doesn't understand. And even Gandhi, the father of India, he said that the five Pandavas are the senses. He thought it was just an allegory. The Kurukshetra, that's the body. No, Kurukshetra is still there. It's
Mhm.
there right now. So he's awesome. He didn't know, but he's commenting. The eternal living entity transmigrates from one material body to another by the law of karma, and material bodies are perishable by their fundamental structures. Therefore, there is nothing to be lamented in the case of the souls being transferred into another body. Or the material bodies perishing at a certain stage. It's amazing how, when like people's loved ones die, I mean, people really lament. But devotees, when loved ones die, because they have some understanding that no one dies. It's like I heard of this instance in Mayapur, this devotee lady's son died, and the devotees saw her. She came to the temple the next day, but she was happy. Of course, there was some lamentation immediately that the son has died, but she understood Krishna's take. Yeah, actually, I was distributing books one time in Ireland, and a devotee was distributing books to this person, this lady, and he was trying to get her to take it and give a donation. And she said to the devotee, she said, "If I take this book home, my husband will kill me." So I stuck my head and said, "He can't kill you, you're eternal." And that just like kind of jolted her, like. And then the devotee was thinking, "Yeah, you're a soul, you can't die." She said, "Wow. Then my daughter, she's still alive somewhere." Her daughter had died. "Yeah, she doesn't die. She's somewhere. You know, like you're lamenting that she's died, but she may be living a very happy life somewhere. She's alive. The soul doesn't die." So she took the book. So, yeah, people don't know this, rudimentary fact. So many people don't know. So we got to give the information out. Got to let people know you're an eternal soul. This is the fact that Krishna gives to Arjuna. So much wonderful information is given by Krishna to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, and so much information here also in the Srimad Bhagavatam. We're so fortunate because this not only helps us to understand that we're the soul within, but also that we're all part of Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Father of everyone. And if we get that realization and act in a very Krishna conscious way, Krishna is so pleased. Just like there's this instance of the Pachetas. The Pachetas were such wonderful devotees, and their dealings with one another were so nice, so Krishna conscious, that Lord Vishnu appeared to them just because their dealings were so nice. They were so Krishna conscious. So I was reading that thinking, wow. If we just have nice dealings with one another, then Krishna is so pleased. But it's so important that we cooperate. Continue with this purport. There are others also who believe in the merging of the spirit soul in the Supreme Spirit when it is uncovered by the material occasion. And there are others also who do not believe in the existence of spirit or soul, but believe in tangible matter. I was just reading in the Krishna book. Krishna explains, or in Sukadeva Goswami, the last chapter, 90th chapter, he explains the 5 excellences of Krishna. And one of them is that Krishna, he's so kind that he gave so much mercy to the devotees. So many devotees, they got the association with Krishna. But even the demons, they got liberation. Everybody got liberation. Everybody on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, they got liberated. How many people?
600.
600 million. That's a big war. They all got liberated. Sometimes people, they criticize, oh, what's this all about war? They don't know that everybody that died, they got liberated.
Mm.
So they're fighting against Krishna and fighting on Krishna's side. Everybody got liberated. This is one of them. Another one is that the Yadus were so pure, the Yadavas, the family of Krishna. You know, we hear how the Ganges is so purified, but it's mentioned here that the Yadus were more purifying to others than the Ganges. So pure. And then the third one was that that goddess Lakshmi, she wanted to get the favor that the gopis were getting. Because Krishna was giving so much attention to the gopis. And she wanted to be a gopi, even. But she couldn't do it because she didn't want to give up her opulence. But still, even though Krishna was giving more attention to the gopis, still, because Krishna is so wonderful, still she continued her service to Krishna. And then, then the other one, the holy name, is the fourth one, the fourth excellence of Krishna. That if you chant 1,000 names of Vishnu, it's very auspicious. But if you chant 3 names of Ram, it's the same. Chanting the names of Ram is also, but if you chant 1 name of Krishna, then it's like chanting 3 names of Ram. So the name of Krishna is very Ikisidasikam Nama Kalikamasana Atapratramaya Sarvavedesha. That if one wants to be free of all the contamination of the age of Kali and counteract all the sins of this age, there is no alternative than to chant. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Because Krishna and his name are non-different. And Krishna is so pure. He's so pure. So we're very fortunate to have this process of purification. And we shouldn't think, well, how is it possible that I'll ever get pure? How is it possible? Krishna can do anything. He can purify us. Another thing is we could think about where I was and where I am now.
Mm.
I mean, I could tell you, boy, I've come a long way. We can all say that, right? We've all come a long way. We got some distance to go, but we're doing pretty good so far. We're still associated with devotees, we're chanting and taking prasadam, we're doing all right. Just, we had to be patient. I was in Europe one time giving a class, and I was speaking about this, about how the name of Krishna and Krishna is not different. And one guest said, I find this to be inconceivable, how the name of God not different. And I said, well, you have to be a little patient to understand that the name of God is not different. Because the name of Krishna, it's spiritual. It's not material. Krishna, God, he's not material, he's spiritual. You can understand that, right? They're both spiritual. Yeah, okay. But then she said, you know, this word patience, it's not even my dictionary. Isn't it? In the West, we want it now. You've heard of the PDS? You've heard of the pure devotee syndrome. Pure devotee. Join the movement. Yeah, I should be a pure devotee within 6 months, maybe a year. Then after 40 years, well, underestimation, overestimation. So yeah, we have this impatience, but it's very important. Enthusiasm, utsaha, enthusiasm, patience. See, if you have enthusiasm and you don't have patience, then it's passion. If you have enthusiasm and you have patience, that's the mode of goodness. Because you're depending on Krishna. You're not depending on yourself. Everything is under the control of Krishna. So there's patience. I'm not the doer. This, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, he says, Prayasam priyam prapya, more Vijaya prapya. Sthira buddha samad brahma vidman brahmanisita. Can you bring the Bhagavad Gita? Very nice verse. The bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of the three modes of material nature, thinks himself to be the doer, which would actually not be carried about nature. So this is the reality. Everything is being carried out by Krishna. Prayasam priyam prapya. Do you know anyone know what verse that is?
What is the beginning?
Na. The Prayasam priyam prapya. Nod Vijaya prapya.
This is 520.
520?
Yes.
520. Well, no, this is it. Different. I gave a wrong translation. So we have a tendency to make mistakes with that. A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant, nor laments upon achieving something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, unbewildered, and who knows the science of God is already situated in transcendence. So generally, I remember there was one devotee who was on book distribution, and someone gave a nice donation. He gave $20, and he was dancing. He started dancing.
Very good, very good.
But if we rejoice, then we'll also lament. Which is this thing, like Narada Muni, he said, devotees do not think that the services they do are actions under their own control, but they are expressions of Krishna's supreme mercy. We have to think like that. It's Krishna's mercy, it's not me. So we could rejoice that Krishna is so kind. But not that we're the doer. This is for so many lifetimes we've been thinking we're the doer. But no, Krishna is the ultimate doer. Self-intelligent, who is self-intelligent, understands that he's the soul, not the body. Just like Prabhupada gives the definition of intelligence. Anybody know? Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada says in the purport. Intelligence means to see things in the proper perspective. That's intelligence. Not that you have all these. There's one Indian man. He's got about 30 degrees. I checked it out. He's got more degrees than anybody else in the world. He just likes to keep learning. But he should be reading, Srimad Bhagavatam. Then he really becomes intelligent. But he's just getting all this knowledge, but what is the use? It doesn't help him at the time of death. So to see things in their proper perspective It's intelligence. So what does that mean? That means to see that Krishna, he owns everything. He controls everything. He's the owner of everything. He's the controller. So this is the position of Krishna. And what is Prabhupada says? He gives definition of knowledge. What's the definition of knowledge? He gives him
Know the difference between matter and spirit.
Yes, he knows the difference between matter and spirit. You see, in the universities, everybody's getting the education of attachment. They're learning how to be attached, yeah, because it's about money. Right? People in the universities, they get a good job, and then they get attached to their money and their position, their house. So they're teaching the education of attachment, and we're teaching the education of detachment. Detachment. Nothing is mine. Everything belongs to Krishna. This is the reality. And we're being taught the reality. They're being taught the illusion. And therefore they get more and more bound to the material world. They get attached and they lose something. Lamenting. We're lamenting. Just like Krishna says, Brahma Bhuta Prasananda. He sees that he's the soul within. He doesn't lament, doesn't hanker. But devotees also lament. Actually, Prabhupada said lamentation means purification. We can lament that I haven't surrendered to Krishna yet. And that's the last of Krishna's excellences in that. I told you the four, so that's the last one. Sarvadhamam Parityajya, that's the last of Krishna's excellences. That if someone gives their life, Sarvadhamam Parityajya Mamekam Saranam Antam Sarvabhya Moksha Sattva. If someone surrenders to me, then no fear, have no fear. You'll reach all perfection. So this is Krishna's mercy. Surrender to Krishna just means understanding reality. He's our Father. He's our friend. He has our best interest at heart. Always has our best interest at heart. And that's a friend. Always has our best interest at heart. So he's the supreme friend. We all have some friends. But our friends, we're going to separate. It's like the example is given of the straws together. They come and they separate. So we're coming together now, but we'll separate. We'll remain friends, but eventually we leave the body and it's all forgotten. But Krishna, he never forgets. He never forgets us. And he's always got our best interest at heart. So he's our real friend. So we should do whatever he says. If we do whatever he says, he'll be pleased and he'll give himself more and more. So, is that the end? Did I finish the proof? Let's finish the proof. Did we finish?
No.
We'll finish that last. It's only one. In our daily experience, we find so many transformations of matter from one form to another, especially nowadays. It's like insane. Kids that are like 12 years old and they're thinking, boys think, well, maybe I'll be a girl. Maybe I'll be a girl. They can choose now. It's like absolutely insane. It's like I was speaking to one student, and they call it trans. They call them trans people. Trans. He's thinking of being a girl. I said, come on. I mean, so many people, they do this trans thing, and then they commit suicide. They're miserable still. He said, yeah, it's true. They commit suicide. Yeah. A lot of them commit suicide because they're thinking, it's greener on the other side. I'm not happy as a boy. I'll be happy as a girl. But then they're not happy as a girl either. There was one that joined the temple there in Australia. Trans person. Boy turned into a girl, living in the girl's ashram. but not happy, not satisfied. And you know, they're very liberal. The temple there is liberal, so they let her him stay, but eventually had to leave. No. Transformations. That's one good thing about Trump. He doesn't. He wants to stop this. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, finishing this purport. In our daily experience, we find so many transformations of matter from one form to another. It's interesting. He says it's just like this transformation. Of course, he's talking about reincarnation. But we do not lament such changing features. Oh, he's talking about change of body from boy to youth to old age. In either of the above cases, the force of divine energy is unchecked. No one has any hand in it, and thus there is no cause of grief. Of course, now they're thinking they have a hand that they could change from boy to girl or girl to boy. But it's just, you start playing with nature like that, very dangerous. Very dangerous. So, any questions or comments?
So I have a question about so this nimit matram is used in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that one should become an instrument, like one should let Krishna act in his life. There's another place in Bhagavatam where it is translated as remote cause.
Remote cause.
Yeah, nimit matram is translated as remote cause. So I don't understand. I mean, in one place it mentions that you become an instrument of Krishna. In another place it is mentioned that nimit matram is remote cause of some action.
Well, be an instrument in the hands of Krishna, but there's five. What is it? Five functions of action. 5 factors of action. So there's the super soul, which is the main. And then there's the soul. There's our endeavor. There's the senses. Super soul, the soul, the endeavor, the senses, and the body. These are the 5 factors of action. So our endeavor is something, just be an instrument in the hands of Krishna. But we try to be an instrument, but it's not just us. There's more. There's Krishna especially. So we try to please Krishna, but ultimately it's up to Krishna. Just like there's some devotees who are preaching to some other people for many years, and there was a terrible thing happened. I don't know if I remember the exact. Anyway, a girl died, and one of the persons whom this devotee was preaching to, who was also a devotee, he said, "Where was Krishna? My sister is dead. My sister is dead." So what can you say in a situation like that? It wasn't so elevated. You can say, "Oh, just Krishna." So, yeah, we don't have control. We can try to be good instruments. Ultimately, Krishna's in control. And a devotee feels that whatever does happen, it's Krishna's mercy. Whatever does happen, we're trying to endeavor, like we're trying to distribute books. And some people don't take. Most people don't take. But it's Krishna's mercy. Some people do take. That's really Krishna's mercy. But wouldn't it be nice if everybody took? But then we wouldn't get the purification.
Mm.
So try to be an instrument, but at the same time understanding ultimately Krishna's, and try to be as selfless as possible. And try to be as aware that it's all about Krishna and the soul. Krishna going into this soul's life isn't about me. It's about like something like we're collecting Lakshmi, you know. We like to get a good amount of Lakshmi. We can't get too absorbed in that because then we forget what's actually important.
Mm.
Is that we put Krishna in this person's life. That's what's most important. So we're trying to be instruments in the hands of Krishna, but we have to do it in a very Krishna conscious way.
Mm.
Again, Vaisheshika Guru is the best example. Distribute as much as possible. Fan the spark. Yeah, and I don't know of anybody that's so much into cultivating people. You have these flyers. This is how people can connect. It's fantastic. And people are connecting, right? It'd be nice if more, but some people are connecting. So that's fantastic.
Yes.
That's how you fan the spark. They got the book. Now they could also contact in this way.
Yeah.
Very auspicious.
Thank you.
One definition, if you all want to hear, of remote cause.
Yeah.
It states a remote cause is a cause, the connection, and the effect is uncertain, vague, or indeterminate. It does not contain in itself the element of necessity between it and its effect. That's synonymous with being an instrument. Then it goes on to say, from the remote cause, the effect does not necessarily follow. This idea of necessity, the necessary connection between the cause and the effect. Well, here it's stating that the cause and the necessary work is synonymous with being an instrument.
So you got to be kind of like detached.
Detached. It's like they do in remote working here. They're not directly at the job site, their office, but they're working remotely, not directly. But still, some effect is there.
Thank you.
I like the point that you pointed specifically about Dhruvam being non-reality. And then you highlighted this subordinate cooperative service. And you alluded about intelligence and organization, that we must be organized and not just intelligent. We can't just have one or the other. They both need to be there. And I remember reading recently when Srila Prabhupada purport that he stated that we address each other as Prabhu because it creates a favorable condition. We're constantly addressing one as master, then naturally the servant will follow. So I like how you highlighted that point. And then you also mentioned about the demoniac nature. Srila Prabhupada would often say that instead of democracy, it's democracy. Because Prahlad Maharaj said that modern politics means one friend and one enemy.
Yeah.
And therefore there cannot be peace. And Srila Prabhupada said, we call it
Demon crazy.
Demon crazy.
Demon crazy, yeah.
Demon crazy.
Yeah.
And Srila Prabhupada said about the United Nations, we created this organization, but all that comes about it is more flags.
Disunited. Disunited nation.
Yes.
And then I like about, he said, we can make an assessment of where I was and where I am today. It reminded me that on Wednesday I was in Santa Cruz distributing books, and this one gentleman, he came and he immediately noticed the Bhagavad Gita. He said, I have that hardbound. He said it, and he was immediately drawn to the Srimad Bhagavatam first canto. He said, what's that? And he told me a little bit about his story. He said for over 20 years he was essentially living out of a hitchhiker's backpack. And then within 1 year that he got the Bhagavad Gita, now he has his own place, own apartment. It is a practical implementation of the principles and how it can make a difference within 1 year from 20 plus years of living out of a backpack. So that was really heart touching. I like that in connection to this about comparing where I was and where I am now. And we've come a long way. We're working it out still. And the peer devotee syndrome. I mean, we must have enthusiasm and patience, because without it, it's passion. I like that. And then giving these two last ones, intelligence means to see things in their proper perspective. Having that vision, and then lamentation with a positive mentality is purification. I like that part. Thank you so much.
Yeah, great devotees, they lament, and then so far, it's like even Sanatana Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj. After work. Oh yeah. Yeah. He says,